A media buyer and e-com store owner. And in this video, I want to talk you through a situation that happens to every e-com store, whether you're running paid traffic, just doing email marketing, whatever it is. It's the dreaded cart abandonment syndrome. And it is the most annoying thing and frustrating thing I think any e-com store owner, or really anybody who's working on marketing or advertising for an e-com store, goes through. What you're looking here is this is a 2+ day set of data in my checkout. I've had 22 visits. I've had one order for a conversion rate of 4.5%. Now, what's really frustrating is typically I would have about four, like at minimum, like 3 orders, and usually at a high note, I'd have like about 6 or 7. Okay, but I have one. And what happens sometimes is you just, there's a few scenarios that'll happen, and I want to talk you through how to deal with these, because one of the things people do is they'll get emotional, they'll panic, and they'll actually break something. Okay. And that's the first thing that you want to do. When this happens to you, just understand it's nothing that you're probably doing wrong. You're just either getting really unlucky, something's broken, or something's mismatched. Okay. So the first thing that I do is I always just remind myself, like, hey, what hasn't always been this bad. So I'll look at this data here, and you'll see it's like been, I actually have a couple more orders in this, so it's been about 20, 26, 27%. It's pretty solid, pretty solid. Usually 23% is what you go for. It's about right at that mark, so it's not bad. But then you look, and since Saturday, it's been pretty rough. Okay. So the first thing you want to do when this happens is I usually give it 72 hours before I touch anything. Because typically what I'm seeing is, if I'm seeing people go into checkout and at a pretty good clip, I mean, I'm paying on a $1,000 product about $12 a checkout visit. You don't need a lot of those to convert. I mean, you don't need a lot of those to convert to make money. But the big thing you want to see is, are people getting in there? And if they are, then it's not your offer, it's not your copy, it's not your ads. It's a lot of times people think, oh, it's just overcoming objections. The landing page I have has a long, really long, like, FAQ section. I've compiled this over the time that we've been selling these products. So the first thing you want to do is you want to go to your checkout page if you've waited the three days. And there's two things I look for: how fast is it loading? Is it loading quickly? And this one will load in less than 2 seconds. And are things working properly? So I'll go in, I'll put in discount codes, like, put this discount code in, make sure it works. Of course, I don't have anything in my cart. This is just a mock-up page. Excuse me. And I'll go through and I'll place an order. And if the order goes through, then odds are something is not broken. It's working fine. You're just getting a little bit unlucky. So what do you do from there? There's two other things that I like to walk through and do. The first thing I do is I'll go to my campaigns, and if I don't have one running, I'll do a retargeting campaign. I love running YouTube ads. What I'll do is create a video that just overcomes objections. Now, in my case, I'm running a campaign where I'm targeting, I'm running a cold Performance Max campaign, which is really specifically good for, cold traffic. And then I'm doing a video YouTube retargeting campaign, and it generally gets, really high click-through rates. This is the worst it's been. It's usually around 3. And that usually will close them. So that's the next step you want to take, is do some sort of retargeting ad. Okay. Because, like I said, you're probably just getting unlucky. It happens. It's not you, it's the customers. What I've found is, if you're getting buying intent, which you could see you are, in this example, it typically will kind of go in cycles. Like, when we were running like $7,000 a day on a tactical offer, we would have a week we'd call Abandonment Week. It was random. Sometimes the first week of the month, usually the first weeks are good, but it's usually in the middle, like the second or third week of the month. And then it just kind of stops, and all you're hoping for is you could just get enough sales to not lose money. cover your nut, the whole bit. But the next thing you should do is, if you're not doing so, is collect emails, because there's a lot of great. I'm working with a guy, Scott Stern. I would definitely hit him up if you're on LinkedIn. Um, that focuses on email automation, or Chris Orzakowski is another amazing one, good friend of mine. That you can start recouping some of those losses. So, but just understand that this is just normal. And there's lots of theories why people abandon carts. I have found that probably the most common reason, they're just not ready to buy. A lot of times, what they'll do is they'll go put something in a cart. They'll either get distracted, or they're just expecting, like, hey, I'll just trigger this thing to retarget me to give me a better deal. You know, what'll happen though over time is it'll balance out. Like, we're actually, this cold traffic offer we just started. This is actually, we're already, 3 times ahead of our best month, because we weren't running on cold traffic for a while. So we're not having a terrible month. I think what's really important to understand is that people have very short attention spans, and they will second guess themselves. It's probably not even your product. A lot of people think, oh God, I just haven't overcome all the objections. You may do that and they'll still bail. It's just 8 out of 10. If you're doing well, 8 out of 10 are still bailing your checkout. Okay. So to recap this, the first thing you want to do is take a breath. Don't look at your stats. Just periodically check once in a while, maybe once a day. Are people getting to checkout? Are they putting things in the cart? Are they getting to checkout? If the answer is yes, you're going to be fine. Okay. If the answer is no, then you got some work to do with your offer, your copy, your ads. The second thing that you want to do is make sure nothing's broken. Do your payment methods work? Is your cart loading quickly enough? We had a situation in December of 21. We literally had 101 people hit our checkout and no sales. Now, it corrected itself the next day and we did fine. But what we found is our Shopify checkout was taking an exceptionally long time to load. And that was killing people's sales. And the way we found out is, finally someone said, hey, this thing's really slow. Is it broken? And you're like, okay, all right. So that's why I've gotten in the habit of just periodically checking, especially if I see a trend where we haven't had a sale in a couple days. I want to find out what's going on there. The next thing you want to do is set up a retargeting ad. Just talk about the overcoming the objections. Talk about your guarantees. You probably already have done this. People just may need a reminder. Okay. And the last thing is, and really it's not last, it's just the next thing to do is to try to collect emails. There's lots of great checkout softwares and lots of great professionals that can help you do this. At least you still get some more bites at the apple and try to close people on sales. But the biggest thing, I think the best piece of advice I can give you is just to simply not panic. It's easy to do. I could feel myself get edgy, but you just know that, hey, you're seeing these people get in there. These things are going to go up and down with cold traffic. Even they're going to go up and down with cold and warm traffic. It just happens. There's things that sometimes are just out of your control, but just understand that as long as they're getting to the finish line, they'll start snapping the tape. Okay. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in the next video. And if you're on LinkedIn, follow me. I've opened up a training program to teach you how to scale cold traffic offers from soup to nuts, to creating an offer to scaling. I've got 2 guys running through it. They're doing great. And if you're on YouTube, just subscribe to my channel, hit that bell icon, get every update. I'm going to be throwing these videos out there to help you scale your paid traffic, and I'll see you in the next video.